Today we are here with Amanda and Pete to talk about the sub-party process. Pete, what is the purpose of the sub-party?
So because Better Builders offers a guaranteed fixed price for most of our projects, it's important that we are able to gather the exact cost for each project. Sub-party allows our trades the opportunity to walk the space before they start the project with a full list of plans and specifications.
So with the specifications, we generally have about 95% of those complete at this point, with the full plan that about 5% of those tend to change while we're on site at the sub-party. Typically, it has something to do with the knowledge base that subcontractors bring to the table. They will have some really good solutions for us that might affect how those look, but we always go in with an open mind.
Pete, can you give us a brief overview of kind of what the sub-party process looks like from the homeowner's perspective?
When Better Builders and Amanda show up at the home, we usually start by doing one final review of the plans and letting the homeowner know what they can expect for the day. Our homeowner is usually really surprised at all the detail that goes into establishing the exact cost for the plans the way they've been drawn. During the sub-party, the amount of time that we allot for that sub-party has a lot to do with the full scope of work. It usually falls somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. It takes a lot of pre-planning and effort to coordinate the homeowners, myself, the estimator, and all of our trades partners for a particular day and times. We typically slot 30 minutes for each trades partner and ask them to respect the time that they've been scheduled to show up and walk through the site. The staggered starts allows us to dedicate full attention with each trades partner as they arrive. Plumber is investigating old galvanized pipes, the electrician identifying out-of-date panels and knob and tube wiring. A lot of time goes into identifying as many unforeseeable costs as possible at the sub-party.
So I know for the sub-parties that not always every single trade that will work on a project ends up coming. Who are some of the regular trades that come to these sub-parties, and what are some of the kinds of trades that can create their bid just based off looking at the plans?
It really depends on the type of project. So let's talk about a kitchen renovation, for example. Usually, for a kitchen, we'll invite the plumber, the electrician, possibly our hardwood flooring installer, always our painter and our drywaller.
So at this point of the Better Builders process, we will have already given you our project handbook. This handbook outlines really every step of the process from your initial call all the way through your final completion of construction. But really at this point, you're looking for that outline of what you can expect from this visit. The basics of any time somebody's going to come over to check out the project space is have the space cleaned out of any materials that you wouldn't want to risk getting damaged or lost. And there's always a chance that we'll be taking pictures when we're on the site. So if there's anything you don't want to be in pictures, make sure you've got it put away. Amanda, why would you say it's valuable for the homeowners to be present for this meeting?
So for me, I think it actually comes down to the feedback that I've gotten directly from the homeowners. You know, after almost every single one of these sub-parties, the homeowners come back to me and they're really impressed with the amount of knowledge that not only Better Builders and myself bring, but all the trades that we bring in. They are coming in and they are coming up with solutions to problems we already knew existed, but maybe in more creative or more cost-effective ways than we had originally anticipated. So it's really another chance to show that collaborative piece. And honestly, they're just always astounded at how much detail we really can accomplish in those 3 hours.
So in addition to determining the costs for a project, Pete, can you give me a specific example of why this sub-party is so important?
Oftentimes in these basements, the concrete floors were poured out of level. This particular instance, there was a garage that had been absorbed as part of the basement, and the garage floor was relatively level. But the balance of that basement floor was out of level almost 4 inches. So by having our tile subcontractor there, he was able to help us come up with a solution for leveling that cement floor, the installation of his tile flooring. So the importance for the tile setter being on the site during that sub-party in relationship to the floor leveling is that there's many different ways to level a floor. The tile setter does this on a regular basis. He was able to offer us the best, most cost-effective solution to making that floor flat and level.
My biggest factor for the importance of a sub-party is really getting that expertise knowledge. You know, I mentioned it previously, but even the sub-party becomes that collaborative process. It really is about, okay, this is our end goal. Now, how are we going to best get to that end goal most cost effectively, most efficient, and just all around best practices? And the people who are doing these things every single day are going to know better than I am. And I like to be able to bounce ideas off of them and really hear what the important things that they see are in the space.
All right, so the sub-party gets wrapped up. Pete, where do we go from there?
Oftentimes, the sub-party is the first time that the estimator has had the opportunity to wrap their mind around the project and review the plans. Once the sub-party is complete, the estimator's work's just beginning. It takes many hours and days to put together all the pieces of the pricing and scope of work to have a complete proposal. There's follow-up with the trades partners to make sure that we receive their bids. The estimator is responsible for cross-referencing the spec sheet with the sub-quotes to make sure everything is accurate. All the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. It typically takes between 3 and 5 weeks for the estimator to complete the full proposal ready for presentation. So this video has been about phase 3 in our Get Your Project Started Right. It's the right preparation. So we performed the sub-quote. Now it's time to review and present the proposal to our homeowner. Once reviewed, presented, and accepted, we enter into a construction agreement where the project is handed off from project development to the production department. This is when the real project begins.
As always, like, subscribe, and join us next week for our video with some tips on how to prepare for construction. Thanks for watching.